welcome to another construction video. So usually I put the construction portion of a video at the end of the up close video looking at that die set, but this is quite an involved construction. It's not very difficult, but there's just quite a few stages and stuff, so I thought I'd just do the construction as a separate construction video and not put it at the end of the up close video. So this is the construction for the, I'm not 100% sure of the name, it's either going to be called a candy tower or a sweet tower. From Tonic, and it creates this really cool tower design that has a mechanism that opens and allows sweets to come out of it, and you even have a top element to it so that you can refill it with sweets as well. So I'm going to show you a Halloween version, but just so you know what we're working towards, here's a Christmas one that I have done, and like you can see the size of this, it's a really decent size. I mean, from the very top to the bottom it's like 8.5 inches tall, so it's a really decent sized gift that you could give somebody and like make a packet of sweets look really fun and exciting because you've put them in this cool sort of a box, and you get different sentiments and stuff that I will show you in the proper up close video looking at this die set, but I just wanted to show you what we're working towards. And the whole like how the sweet tower kind of works is you have this little tray at the front which is where you get the sweets out, and then you have this like flower mechanism on the top of it, that is how you open it up and fill it full of more sweets as well. And there's a separate, I don't know if you can really see it, you can see there's a piece of card in there. It's like an extra little mechanism that goes inside to stop any of the sweets touching these flaps that go inside, so none of the sweets will interfere with this flap opening, which is brilliant. So it's a really cool, like, ingenious design. And there are lots of different ways that you can decorate it. You can use it just with the dies that are in the set, like this one. I've used all the sweet panels that come in the set, or you can add other dies from Tonic, like I've made this one look a bit more Christmassy, or you can like completely use different dies from Tonic. So the one I'm going to show you how to put together is a Halloween version. I've also made one look like a lighthouse, and another one look like a UFO with like a light beam coming out the bottom of it, because I thought this top piece really looked like a UFO, and it's going to have flying saucers inside that one. So if you're interested in the other ones that I have made, go and look at the up close video at this die set. But I just wanted to show you one of the ones that's actually made, and it's really substantial. Like, this is really well constructed when it's finished, and the top piece is really easy to close. I'll show you it now and I'll show you it again when we finish this, but it closes in a circular motion. So if we're going to start with this one, then this one is then going to tuck around that first one, right? And then we've just tucked this one in, so the next one is this one, and this one is then going to tuck around that one that we just put round there. And then this is where it gets confusing, but if you keep following, so this was the one we just tucked in, so now we want to tuck this one in, and this is the piece of the one we just tucked in, so this piece needs to come round here to be next to this one. So if you follow that, it makes it really easy to get this to fold into the little flower shape on the top, and that is how you open and close it to refill it full of sweets as well. I think it would also be really cool if you somehow incorporated like a paying element to it. Like when I was younger, there used to be this little it was a red moulded plastic thing, and it was made by Cadbury's, and you used to put like 2p in it, and a little tiny little chocolate would come out that was like wrapped in like the little dairy milk packaging. It kind of reminds me of that sort of an idea, so I think like putting like a little pocket money kind of a element into it would be really cool. So like if you put your pocket money in to save it, you then get like a sweet out of it or something. But yeah, I really love this. It's so like ingenious. I don't know how on earth anybody would have been looking at a piece of card and gone, I want to make a sweet tower out of that, and how on earth do they start to design that? But it's crazy good, and it's really easy to put together. There are instructions. There's like a PDF sort of picture of instructions. I don't know whether they're going to be on the inside of the packaging. I presume they will be on the inside of the packaging. But if they're not, I'm guessing it's going to be some kind of downloadable thing that you can just print off yourself or have it on your phone so you can see it. And if that is the case, I'll make sure the link for that is below. But I'm pretty sure they're going to put it inside the packaging. I just haven't seen the real packaging yet, so I don't 100% know. But anyway, so for making that treat tower, I think all the pieces, it was about 2.5 A4 sheets of cardstock to get everything out of it. And to make one tower, you need these pieces. So you need 2 side pieces, one of which you cut the opening flap into. I'll go through this again in a second, but I just want to show you what pieces you're going to need. So 2 pieces of the big side pieces, one with the opening flap cut into it, and you want it to be the one next to a glue tab. Then you need 4 of these pieces which create your lid, and you can see these parts are the bit that folds into that flower at the top. Then you need a base, which is just a square, which obviously comes in the set of dies as well. Then you need the sweet tray mechanisms. This is the piece that pulls out, like, I'll just show you, it's this piece. So that looks like this. So you need one of them, then you need one of this which sticks on the front of that to sort of hide the mechanism and tie in your design for the rest of the box. And then to create the inside piece that protects these flaps and stops any sweets from inside touching these and messing up the mechanism, you need 2 of these and 1 of the smaller sort of rectangular piece that's inside the die set as well. So that is all the pieces that you need to create one full of these boxes, and I'm pretty sure it was about 2.5 A4 sheets that I got all of this out of. And actually when I was doing these ones, I coloured them all with oxide, so I actually cut them out of white card, and I was using A3 sheets of card, and doing it that way you kind of get more out of your cardstock because the sheets are bigger, so you're not wasting small little portions. You could probably get like an extra lid piece or 2 out of those little bits that, you know, weren't quite big enough when you're just working with A4 sheets. So if you have A3 card, sometimes with these 3-dimensional box dies and stuff, it's more economical to use A3 card because you can get more pieces out of it. But anyway, so I've done these portions in black because this is all going to be on the inside. Well, this is going to be the inside the box, and this piece is going to be the drawer that comes out, and I thought you're going to see this side piece, and I thought black would look nicer. And then the rest of it I've cut out of white card, and I've just added wilted violet and seedless preserves distress oxides. Then I watered down and splattered on some violet brocade and storm cloud nouveau shimmer powders. And then I also came back in, and this was like a magazine freebie stamp from like last year. And I just stamped that over it because I just felt like it needed to look a bit more Halloween-y, and Tonic don't have any Halloween stamps, which is a little bit annoying. But anyway, any kind of bat stamp or Halloween-y looking thing, if you're doing a Halloween version, will do. And then I've added all of the tape on here ready as well. So for the tape for these, on the lid, you want it on all 3 of the little glue tabs on all of the pieces, and I've also put a piece here because this is how you're going to open the box, so you can actually stick the lid into the box to make it more of a sturdy structure. And I've been doing it by adding a piece of tape here and then adding glue to the rest of it and then sliding it in and pressing it in place. So for the 4 lid pieces, that's where you need to add your adhesive. For the 2 side pieces, you need a 3mm wide tape to go down the 2 glue tabs, and then on the bottom glue tabs I've used the 9mm, oh no, it's 12mm wide tape, that Tonic 2, the red line tape, for those pieces. The base then sticks to that, so you don't need anything on the base. This lip piece that comes in and out, you need to add all of the tape or all of the adhesive you're adding to it is going to be on the front, so the professional side of the die cut, because this piece is actually going to stick through this opening, so it's actually going to adhere to the box here, so you want it to be on this side of the card. And then I've added adhesive here because eventually we are going to stick that one over the top of it, and that makes it look neater on the front of the finished box as well. And then for the inside portion, which creates the element that hides or stops any of the sweets touching the drawer opening, you don't need any adhesive on this piece, but on these 2 pieces you're going to use that wide 12mm red line tape on the two large flaps at the bottom, and again you want to put that on the professional side because that is what you're going to see. Well, you don't really see it that much, but if you did see it from the inside of the box, you'd be seeing this side then, which is the professional side. And then on the small tabs at the top, you want to put it on the opposite side to the other red liner tape. And that's how that is going to then stick to the two sides of the box inside. And once that is all put together, it will go together like this. You're then going to want adhesive on the bottom of this because that will stick inside the box as well. But I will explain it all as I go along. I just wanted to, like if you've already made one of these a while ago and you've come back to find this video, this sort of gives you a quick overview of what pieces you need and where you need to put your adhesive. So, as I said, there are written instructions of how to put this together, and they work because that's what I followed to make my first one, and after that I just sort of knew how to make it. This next step that I'm going to tell you, you really need to do it this way. So it tells you this way in the instructions, but the second one I made, I was trying to make it without following the instructions, and I stuck these two front panels together the wrong way round. Not that it made a problem with how the box went together, it was just that my opening was then on the front, which made it really difficult to try and get the inside mechanism inside it. I figured it out in the end, but it was much more difficult than it needed to be. So when you're sticking these two front panels together, you want to cut the opening slot mechanism out of one of them and the one that is next to a glue tab. So when you're cutting this mechanism out, you want to do it just in one panel and next to the glue tab. And this die, I have it here, it has the sloping sides on it, obviously to sort of follow the sloping sides of this box, but the cutting elements are further in on it, you see, but they've left this metal here because it lets you know where you need to place it on your box. So if you have a look here, that is where I've cut it from, and you can see that the metal is lining up exactly where the two folded lines are here. So that is how you know exactly where to place that window. So you don't want to place it right at the bottom, and you don't want to place it like far up here. You want to place it onto your card and have a look at the metal and check that the edge of the metal is lining up with the score lines that the main side panel die has given you, and then you know that that is in the right place. Okay, and then the reason why I want to make sure you do this the right way around is because when you stick these two panels together, you want to do it like this, because when you stick the inside mechanism in, you leave part of this open, and it is so much easier if you leave the back open, which is what the PDF tells you to do. But when you do it the wrong way round and you stick it like this, so the window is over here, you end up with the front still open, not the back still open, and trying to get the inside piece in when you do that is really, really difficult. So just make sure when you stick these two together that you stick them like this, and then you'll have no trouble at all. So let's stick these together, and then we'll start to properly assemble it. So really easy to stick together, that's literally just a straight line sticking that together. Then you want to make sure all your lines are folded. I think most of mine are, because the way I was inking it, I was trying to fold it and just ink black on the edges. So once you have all of that put together, the next step is to secure your little drawer mechanism inside the box. So you want to make sure this is all nicely folded too, and the way I've been properly creasing my score lines is using the Tonic glide folder. I've really been enjoying this tool for this purpose, but if you have the original, like the card creaser version, that works just as well. So you want to fold the two side flaps, you want to fold away from you, but this one you want to fold upwards towards you because of the way it's going to stick inside the box. It just makes it easier, makes it fold perfectly straight away. So this piece is going to stick inside here. So the way you do it is you're going to push this inside, and that glue flap is going to go underneath there, and then we could put these side pieces in first. So you put the side pieces in the hole, and then that glue tab is going to go inside the box under there. So now that is going to be the working mechanism for the opening for the sweets to come out of. And then to make sure that's nicely secured in place, you want to turn it over. It's quite good actually that I've done it black and white because you can really see where it is. And then how I've been doing it is I've been making sure that is in the middle, and then folding up that glue flap, taking the backing off of the red liner tape that I've put on there, and then literally just folding it down and pressing it into place. So that is now secured in place exactly where it is supposed to be. So that mechanism now works absolutely perfectly. Then the next thing you want to do is start to attach your base to your box. So we're only going to attach this to 3 sides at the moment because we need the 4th side to stay open. So I've been starting with the front of the box. So I just remove the red liner tape that we already put on there, and then press that one onto that portion. Then remove the red liner tape off of the next one. This is just like basic construction, this portion. And then press that one down. So we've got 2 sides on now, and then the 3rd side. So now we have an almost completed sort of box shape where we now have a door that's left open, and this is how we're going to get the inside mechanism to sit inside. So I've been folding this back so it sort of helps with that being more open in there. So now we need to stick together the inside mechanism. So that is created with these 3 pieces that I showed you earlier, and you want to stick this rectangular piece along here, and this kind of has little notches. If you see on the sides there's like notches, so you want to be lining this card up with just where that like semicircle notch ends. So this is how I've been sticking it together, so right up like that, and that's how the whole little mechanism is going to work on both sides as well. So I just want to line those 2 up and press that down, and then line that up as well. So we now have this piece which I need to fold the score lines on. And while I'm here I will fold the top score lines as well. So we now have this funny looking piece here, which in the beginning I was like, how on earth is that going to work? What is that supposed to be used for? But it is to protect those 2 flap pieces that you can see come inside the box. If you just had sweets in there now, they could fall against this, and if they're heavy they're gonna like hold it and stop this from opening nicely, or when the drawer is open there'll be sweets in the way so it won't be able to close again. So the purpose of this is to go inside here and sit either side of that opening, but where the flaps for the actual opening are between this portion and the outside of the box. I hope that makes sense. But that is what that is meant to do. So the way I've been putting it in, I think it does tell you to stick it in the instructions as well, but this is how I have been doing it. So I've been getting the wide red liner tape and just sticking 3 pieces on the bottom of this just to make sure it's going to stay in really nicely. So we're going to remove that, and then when we put this inside we want to make sure this is completely butted up against the front edge of the box. So this piece is right up against the front edge of the box, and we want to try and get it in the centre as well. So we're going to push it in like this. I'm going to have to tilt it so I get it in the right place, but I just want to butt it right against the front and get it as central as you can, and then press that down. So now we've got that piece stuck in, and these 2 flappy pieces for the drawer sort of opening mechanism are now between the outside of the box and this piece here. And then to secure these pieces in place, I've been taking the tape off of here if I can get it to start. Okay. And then I've just sort of been holding these two together and then going up gently and pressing that into place, so you can see how there is now a gap between this piece of card and the outside of the box, and that's where that little flap is. I think you can kind of tell what I mean. And then stick the other one into place as well, just like this. So we want to just sort of guide it up here, because you don't want to do it like too tightly or anything, because you're going to stop the drawer mechanism from working. But now they're both stuck, you can now see how that drawer mechanism seamlessly works. And because we've used the black on the inside, it looks really nice and snazzy inside the box now as well. You can't see any of this messy sort of inkiness from where I was messy with the back of the card when I was inking the front side of it. So that is now working perfectly. Then we now need to close the box up. So one tiny little problem is that this glue tab is now too big. Because we've added that piece inside, this glue tab is now too big. I mean, you could get it to fold up and sit slightly on top of that black piece that's inside there, but I've just been trimming it down slightly. Obviously they can't do that on the die set because you're using the same die, you know, so you need the tabs to be the same, and it's better to have a wider glue tab for the base of it. But all I've been doing is literally just coming in with a long bladed pair of scissors and just cutting the glue tab a tiny bit shorter, and I find that works perfectly then, because you're just sticking straight down onto the white base of the box rather than having a little overlap onto the inside portion of the mechanism. And then for the side of the box, obviously we've just been using that 3mm wide red liner tape, and I have actually been adding a little bit of glue onto this as well. So let's take off the bottom too. But then on this side one, I've just been adding a tiny bit of glue just to help in case it gets stuck in the wrong place. The glue won't quite have dried, so you can easily pull it apart again. And also you want it to be a nice strong like join there. So and then the way you're just closing this is, I've been trying to get the bottom to go in nicely first. So if we line the bottom up, we can then press it like this and start to line the side up. And then you can take your folder tool and you can press from the inside just to make sure that bottom is really well stuck. And then you can just start like pinching the side together and getting that score line to line up. So this is like basic construction really, this bit here. But I just wanted to show you it all sort of slowly. I mean, I've been filming for like 23 minutes now, so it's not difficult, the construction. I think it's just like more of a lengthy construction, but I mean it is a really cool box that you get, and like it's an interactive box really. And it's so cool that you can now get die sets that do stuff like this, because there's no way that you would sit there and plan out how to make something like this unless you had a die set to do it with. So we've now got the completed box, and you can see how that piece that helps protect this mechanism is more towards the front of the box, because I've done it in black and white, so that's quite good actually. You can actually tell the difference between there, and then inside you can see the mechanism in there as well. So oh yeah, the next part is why we've added tape here. So I want to add the front flap on here to make it look pretty and sort of hide these slots and stuff. So I've been doing it sticking the tape onto the actual drawer so I don't accidentally put it too far over and then end up sticking the whole box shut. And then to line up the bottom portion of this, you just want to try and get it exactly like on that line really. You don't want it to hang down too far because it will interfere with how that drawer sort of opens. But you just want to try and get it centered on the front of the box and down to that sort of bottom area there, and then just press that in place, lift the drawer open and then press it again to get it to be really well bonded, and then that works perfectly as your little open and close portion. So I am going to decorate this as well, but I will put the lid together first and then finish decorating all of the side pieces too. You can decorate it while it's flat as well. I've just found, because it's a little bit more of a tricky, just because it's a bit more of a lengthy kind of construction, that I've been adding the decoration on afterwards. But either way is fine to do. And obviously once you've made one or two of them, you'll sort of learn which way you like to do it as well. So for the lid, you need the 4 pieces. And you want the adhesive on all of the little tabs and on this piece here, which we will then use to attach the lid onto here and create it as a whole box element. So if any of you had the lantern die set from kit number 25 of the Tonic Craft kit, it's a similar kind of design as the top of that lantern to get this box to go together. So you want to take the red liner tape off of one of these. Actually, I'll do it from all of them at the same time. So off of all of the tabs on one piece, make sure there's no overhanging adhesive, and then the way I've been doing it, I've been lining up this bottom one first, just like that, and then bending them away from each other to get that next diagonal line to line up, and I'm pressing from the inside, and then finally bending back in on itself again. You kind of think it won't go, but it does go, and then pressing that one together again as well. And if you don't trust the red liner tape, you can use glue for this and like peg it if you want to as well. But that is how this whole portion goes together. So that's the first one, and then this is the only bit of the construction that is like repetitive, because you've obviously got 4 sides to do for this lid. The rest of it's kind of all different sort of things. So I start with the bottom tab, stick that one on, and then bend them away from each other, the next one on, then bend them back towards each other for the final diagonal, and then take off the tape again, start with the bottom one, then bend them away from you, bend it towards you. Oh, I probably should have told you how this folded actually as well. Okay, before I finish that last portion, the way you fold this piece, this top piece you're going to fold towards you, the middle of the other piece you're going to fold away from you, and then the bottom one you're going to fold back towards you, so you end up with a shape that looks like that. And then all of the glue tabs you're just folding away from you as well. So that's how you fold it. I forgot to mention that before. Okay, then you get to the final side and you're kind of thinking, how on earth is that supposed to go together? But you can pull it back out again, and we'll get this to go together. So let's just remove the adhesive off of these. Okay, and then start with that bottom one. Get it to go straight. Okay. Then that first diagonal, and then the second diagonal. Okay, so that is how the lid portion goes together. And then I've also been using the glide folder or the card creaser to like gently curl these pieces, like just give them a tiny bit of a curl like this, so they're not just sticking up straight, they've got more of a bend to them. I think that really helps with getting it to go together nicely, and you're not getting any like harsh folds in your card as you're trying to manipulate them around each other. But before we actually put that together, we're going to stick this onto our box, but we just wanted those to be curled beforehand. So to stick it onto the top of the box, we've still got that red liner tape there, and it's just going to sit inside the top portion of the box, just like that. You can see how easily that goes in. And then to easily adhere this inside, what I've been doing is I've been taking that strip of red liner tape off, because I wanted a nice strong joint right at the top with the red line tape. And then to help with the manoeuvrability of it, it is really easy to get in, but just in case it gets stuck in the wrong place, I've been adding a bit of glue to that tape, and then glue to that bottom portion that hasn't got any tape on as well. I've just been finding that that's really good to do. And I mean, I can now put one of these together without looking at the instructions, and this is only the fourth one I've put together, and I've only followed the instructions for the first one, so it is really easy once you get the hang of how it goes together. But if you still need the instructions, then it's fine just to easily follow them, or this is why I've done this video, in case you're more of a visual learner or like a hearing sort of learner, because I don't like reading, so I was just looking at the pictures when I was following it. But yeah, I just thought this video might be useful for some of you. So to get this to go inside, I'm just going to place it in there really. It just slips in really nicely, and then I've been folding these pieces back outwards, and then so you can get your hand inside, and then just like pressing really firmly so that the tape sticks, and then the glue will dry eventually as well, and make sure it's a really strong bond. So there we go, that has got the lid on the top of the box. And then to close it all up, we just do what I said before. So this is going to be the first one, then this is going to be the second one, which folds over that one. So then if that was the second one, this is the third one, which is going to fold round to be next to the second one. Then if this was the third one, this is going to be the fourth one, and the third one's flap is now over here, so this one's flap needs to come over here. So it goes back behind there and pulls round, and that's how you get that top portion to your box. Okay, so now we've got the whole thing assembled. It looks nice just as it is actually. Oh, I just thought it would kind of look cool as like Rapunzel's tower as well. You could have like a window with Rapunzel's hair coming down. I keep having too many ideas for this. I was also thinking it could be like an Easter Island head, and this would be like the mouth, and then it'd have its big nose here. I don't know whether that would actually work, so I gave up on that idea. But yeah, there's tons of things you could do with it. Also, a windmill would look really good. You could have the sails coming out of here and have big, you know, the big sails on it. Loads of different things I think you can do with this. Oh, and actually I had this one was sitting up on my shelf. I just made it out of craft cards, so it was just like bare craft cards sitting on my shelf, and I kept looking at it thinking it looks like Sherlock Holmes' hat. Like I just kept thinking it could be a deerstalker hat, but so that could be another thing that you can do with it as well. Anyway, let's get on to decorating this one. So I've got quite a few of the Tonic Halloween die cuts, and then I've also got like random things that we got years ago from like Poundland or Tesco's and stuff, and you know, like little sort of spooky flies and ants and things from, you know, different Halloweeny kind of sets. And then I thought one of the Tonic Halloween sentiments says trick or treat, and I thought, wouldn't that be cool to have it as like a little trick or treat on the door, and it fits absolutely perfectly. And then in the coffin die set, it has a question mark, so I'm going to put that on there as well. And then I was thinking of having one of the skulls from one of the Tonic die sets, and like a couple of these little ants on the front of it, and then I've got more designs for the rest. So we'll start with sticking these on. I think I might have to stick these with hot glue maybe, so I might do that later. But yeah, let's get with the words first. I don't know if you really want to see me decorate this, but I need to do it, so I thought I might as well film it as well. Because it just goes to show how you don't have to decorate it while it's flat if you don't want to. I mean, if you're adding all of the intricate panels, and you're sticking them straight onto your box, you might want to add them while it's flat, because you can press harder to get them to stay stuck all over. But if you're just adding small elements onto it, I think it's fine to do it once it's been assembled. And also, like, if this is the first time you've made it, it's quite nice to have just made it first and not like wasted time decorating it if you then accidentally go wrong when you construct it. So if you just use plain card, you can still decorate afterwards as well, because that Christmassy one, as I was just saying, I made it out of craft card and then it was sitting on my shelf for like a week whilst I was getting on with other work, and then I decorated it with all that decoration, so it's not too difficult to do. And actually with this one, with the flap, you can actually press from the inside if you just put it open. I cannot wait for these shows on Create and Craft. They should have been on by the time this video goes up. But I can't wait to see what everybody else on the design team has done, and what all of you do with it if you buy this die set as well. I think it's such a fun one. I think children are really going to love it, but I think adults are really going to love it as well. And like, you can make it really quirky to the recipient as well. Like, it doesn't have to just be sweets inside it. It could be like little bath bombs, you know, for someone who really loves their like Lush bath bombs and stuff. Or it could be maybe even like miniature bottles of alcohol might even fit in there for people who like that. You know, loads of different things you can fit inside, which is really nice. You could even do it as like an Advent kind of thing, and maybe have like 24 small little gifts wrapped up inside there, and then they open it and just pull out a random gift every day rather than it being numbered. Or they could have numbers on them as well, and they've got to try and find the right numbered one from inside there. Or my sister had this idea. She said, why don't you do one that's like full of nice little notes? So like for somebody's birthday or something, you could go round where you work and get like everybody to write something nice about the person, and then you could put them all in here, and then when they're having a bad day they can pull it open and pull out a nice comment about them to make them feel better. Or actually, I was thinking a great present for like your mum, you could do like have it full of little folded up notes that say things like a washing up token, or you know, something like that, or I'll cook your lunch for you, whatever meal you want, or you know, that kind of thing. That would be really sweet as well. Or if you know someone who's like a nouveau-holic, what about like shimmer powders would fit inside there. Or you could just use it to store things, actually. You could do like a challenge, you know, when you can't decide what colours to use on a project. You could put Nouveau drops or shimmer powders or something inside, especially the mini Nouveau drops that you get with the kits. And then you could like just randomly pick a few out that have fallen to the bottom, and you'd have to use that colour scheme. Okay, so that is the first side, and then I want to add these ants as well, but I think hot glue is going to be better for those, so I'll do that later. Then the next side, I was going to add, I think I was going to add this. So this is one of the other Halloween sentiments that Tonic did 2 years ago now. And it says what's brewing, and it's in a cauldron shape. Then I've cut a couple of their little bats that come in the coffin die set, and then I've also got this little plastic fly which I thought would look sweet on there, so I'm going to add that with hot glue later as well. So these little bats are so sweet. And then for the sentiment, I'm going to layer the two together so they kind of stand out a little bit. But there's loads of different themes you could decorate this for as well. Easter would be really good too. and maybe you could get it to look like a penguin or a snowman or something if you're really like adventurous with the design, and do it a proper Christmassy one. Or what other things do you can make a summery one. I mean, the lighthouse one that I've done, it could be like a summery one, and you could have like different activities that you could do in the summer holidays or something, and then you pick out a random one each day as what you'll be doing that day or something. Or you can do birthday ones as well. I mean, any decoration would do for a birthday one, really. If somebody likes spooky things, a Halloween one could do for a birthday as well. Okay. So that's that side done. You don't need too much decoration, especially if you've inked it and stamped on it and stuff. You don't really need too much decoration. Then on the opposite side to that one, I was going to use the Tonic cobweb die, like this. So I just want to chop off, because it has these little extra bits here, but that's actually at a right angle, so it should fit quite nicely there. Although I could actually, I might not need to snip the top ones off. I'll snip the side ones off, because that's not quite a right angle there. Yeah, I think put it like that, and then I just need to snip those two a bit shorter. Yeah, I think that'll look good. My bottle's running out of glue, I need to fill it up again. Okay. Okay, then on this side I've got some horrible spiders to go on here. Two of these are from the coffin die set from Tonic, and then I've got a little plastic one as well that again I'll stick on with hot glue, I think. I'm going to put this spider here to cover where I just made a mess with the glue. And then if I'm going to put that one up there, maybe I want to have him there and I could draw a web that he's hanging on. Like I can draw an extra string down if I get my white gel pen. Oops. I can just like, that might turn a bit purple because of the oxides ink in the background, but there you go, it kind of looks like he's hanging there now. And then I will add that with hot glue. And then on the back of it I'm going to add another of these cobwebs down the bottom here. And then this is one of those, like, they're supposed to hang. I just cut off that little shank that was on the top of it. They're like just little plasticky skeletons. I think they had orange and purple ones in the pack as well. And it was either a supermarket or Poundland, but they always have these kind of things, and it just fitted absolutely perfectly, top to bottom. But you could equally use the skeleton die that comes in the coffin die set as well. So for this one I think I actually might cut off that, because that works with the angle of that bottom if I cut that off, and then snip that one off as well. Yeah, I think that looks good. You could also add like those fake cobwebby things that you can get as well. You know, they're like sort of like cotton woolly sort of stuff. You could have that kind of thing on it as well if you wanted. Anything really to make it Halloweeny. Sequins as well, actually, like star sequins, and oh, I've actually got some bat sequins somewhere. I could add them too if I wanted. And then the skeleton, I think he'll stay on with glue. I might try glue for the other bits as well, rather than using hot glue. I always burn myself. I mean, I know he's see-through, but I'm hoping you won't be able to see this glue too much, because it does dry clear. It just depends how much it reacts with the oxides underneath it, actually. If I try and dab off too much of the excess. Okay, hopefully he will stick. Yeah, I think that's going to stay. Okay, and then I will try glue for these. Just normal glue. These are just out of like those little multi-packs that you get with little creepy things in. I think people usually sprinkle them on the table and stuff. I think he's going to stay. And then I've got the little ants that I was going to put on this one. Maybe I need to glue the feet. Okay, hopefully these will all stay stuck on here. If not, I will use hot glue. And then I think that one there. Okay, and then on the final side, I was going to stick this little fly. I think just by the cauldron will look good. Okay, so that is the finished Halloween gift box. I don't want to turn it too much in case that fly falls off. I think it's quite heavy. But to go inside this, oh actually, I was going to use this as well, wasn't I? So I've got this like black tinsel. I don't know if that fly is going to stay, but I was thinking it might look quite cool tied around the top. Yeah, that does look quite cool. Okay, so I think I'm going to add that on as well, but I'm going to wait for the rest of the stuff to dry, so you won't see me do that. But I think that'll look cool, just to add something a little bit extra on it as well. But the sweets that I was going to add inside this, I just got some of these chocolate eyeballs. I don't know what make they are. Only. They're just like, you know, a ball of chocolate wrapped in a foil that looks like an eyeball. So I thought they would be really cool sweets to go in there. And then, because it says trick or treat on the front one, I've got these horrible plastic spiders, bigger ones, and I thought put a couple of them in there with the eyeballs as well would make like a cool trick or treat. So the trick would obviously be a horrible spider in there. Yeah, I just thought that would be quite good. So that is the my Halloween version of the sweet tower or candy tower, and that's the whole construction of it. So if you want to see an up-close look at the different dies that you get in this set and all like the different panels, because this one I haven't actually used any of the decorative panels, I've just used other Tonic dies and decorated with that. But if you want to see all the different decorative panels that are in there and my other examples that I've created with this die set, as well as a card that I've done as well, then go and check out my up-close video looking at these two, which I'll try and remember to link below the video as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video.